Hey everybody, this is Paul, and I was asked to make a quick video on how to make a Google form quiz, and I'll show you some tricks. This won't be as comprehensive as my one on the portal because the portal is actually dirt simple. Google Forms is a little more complicated, but it seems to work better, and it's definitely more versatile. It's less glitchy, I think, is the main thing. So what you should be looking at is my Google Drive folder, and at home I use Safari. I don't use Chrome, so if it looks a little different, that's probably why. If you're used to seeing it on Chrome, it should still basically be the same layout. If you're in your Drive folder, you go over here to where it says Google Apps in the upper right, click on it, scroll down a little bit, you can find a link to Google Forms. And the Google Forms, they're already synchronized with your McLean account, just like your Google Docs and your Google Sheets and your Google Slides. And it's got templates just like those. They should look very familiar. So it's even got a nice little blank quiz option here. So I'm going to click on that and create a blank quiz. Now, this is a math quiz, and I'm giving lots of skills assessments. And let me say quickly some of the advantages to Google Forms. One is for asynchronous testing. And yeah, there's some integrity issues here, and it can be easy to cheat on. But once you've created this, when you put something on the portal, you have to do it synchronously. Okay, the portal has to just have the quiz on it for everyone in your class to get to or not. This one, you can put up a link, and kids can get to it on their own time. And there's a couple things you can do to make that a little bit more difficult for cheating, but it's particularly nice for homework, actually. I've had APUS Government upload essays this way because, that's less of a integrity question than a stressful test. But the nice thing is, again, I can put a link up. I embed the link in the portal, and they click on it when they want to, and they do the homework or take the quiz this way. If I want them to take the quiz all at the same time, I could make it during a Zoom session, just like I've done with portal quizzes, but regardless. Okay, here's my math quiz. So I start up a blank quiz, and the default is a single multiple choice question. They have so many ways to implement questions, though, here. It still has all the Google form functionality. So you can do a linear scale. You can rate this question from 1 to 5. Multiple choice grid. You can check boxes off in columns. You can check multiple things in. You can put in a date and a time, like on a form. I had a ridiculous idea. This might be fun for like a history test. If I want to just put a date, my question could be, when was the Battle of Agincourt? And the student would have to put in, okay, so that's my first question on this quiz, right? I don't know what this will look like to the student yet. So I go over here to this little I, and I hit preview, and I see, okay, the student sees when was the Battle of Agincourt. Well, I'm just going to put in, let's see, I think it was, October 15th, 1415, thereabout? No, August, somewhere in there. This is wrong. Someone in the history department can correct me. I hit submit. I view my score. I didn't get any points because I didn't assign any points, but I see what I wrote. So you can always, the point is, you can always check by clicking on this little I symbol in the upper right. You can see what the quiz looks like to your kids. Now, I'm probably not going to ask them this because I'm a math person, so I'm going to change this question. I'm going to ask them a math question like, what is 2 plus 2? And I'm going to make this a multiple choice question. And I'm going to say option 1 is 4. And it gives me a little choice. It assumes I might want the next ones to be 3, 2, 1. I don't know why I'd give a multiple choice countdown, but I'm going to make the next option a number. Now I'm going to make the next option, I was told there would be no math. And I'm going to make the last option all of the above. Now, I can make a case that all of these are valid and legitimate answers to the question, what is 2 plus 2? So I'm going to click this answer key button. I'm going to assign this 2 points, and I'm going to tell the Google form that these are all perfectly wonderful answers. Then I'm going to click done. And now I want to think about how exactly I want to distribute this to my students. Oh, first, here's my Battle of Agincourt response. The responses show up here. There was one response, no points were awarded. Here's what the question was. some individual recorded. Well, this is problematic. I can't see who this is. This is worthless. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to delete this response. And now I'm going to go back to my question. Okay, see, I didn't see who was there. Okay, I need to start thinking now about what this looks like to the kids. So first thing to do is click required. When the kids see this quiz, they have to click this or they can't hit submit. Fair enough. Now I'm going to go over to settings and I'm going to say collect email addresses. This means that McLean School students will have to either sign in with their email or open this in a browser where they're already signed in to their Google Drive or their Google Sheets or some other thing with their McLean School account. And then either way, the form will not let them proceed without collecting their email address. If this is, I'm going to leave it restricted to users in McLean School, because if I want to put a link out there in the world, I only want McLean students clicking on it. And if it's an assessment, I'm going to limit to one response. If it's homework, maybe I let them respond multiple times. Or maybe I'll limit them to one response, but let them edit it after they submit. Let them keep going and changing that one response as much as they want to. Or don't let them edit. Give them plenty of responses. I might get 10 responses from the same kid, but I can see the evolution of their thinking. I can see how many times it took them to get it right. So you have a lot of options here, but let's say this is an assessment. I'm going to limit to one response. Okay? So now I hit save. Now let's see what this looks like from the student perspective. Okay, your email address will be recorded. Is this you? It's double checking. Now, I said that any of these were correct, so I'm going to click 4 or a number, or I was told there was no math. Actually, I'm going to click all of the above, submit. Oh, my score has been recorded. And it told me that I got 2 out of 2 points. Okay, now maybe I don't want them to see that right away. Maybe for whatever reason, I don't want them to know their grade. And also it told me that, that one was correct. So I'm going to go back here to settings. Well, first off, let's say I didn't want that to be my final response. Okay, for some reason there was a technical error. I didn't click what I wanted. I'm the teacher and I want to give a kid a second chance. I can go here to the summary of responses. I can go where it says individual. I can see where this response is. And if for any reason I want to give a kid a retake, I delete this response, and then this whole thing under settings where they're limited to one response, still in place, but they get a do-over. So there's a couple little tricks to this that, again, it requires a little more forethought than just throwing it up on the portal, but very powerful. So that's my one question quiz and a couple things you can do with it. I'm going to take another look at this number now. I'm going to change something. See, I'm going to decide that these choices are too nice for the kids. I've told them in class I want precision, and vague but technically accurate answers will not be tolerated. So go to my answer key. These 3 are no longer correct. Done. While I'm in the answer key, I can add answer feedback. For incorrect answers, I will have the portal tell them, seriously? And for correct answers, I will have the portal tell them, good job, I guess. So now I hit save. Okay, click that I'm done. And let's see what this looks like to the kids. Preview it. pbell@mcleanschool.org is taking it. What is 2 plus 2? I don't know. It's so number. No, you know what? I was told there would be no math. That's what I'm going with. Submit. View score. It's wrong. The correct answer was 4. Feedback. Seriously? Maybe a little harsh for those of you who teach younger, more anxious students. But there's another problem here. If I'm taking this quiz asynchronously anytime during the day, I've just been told the correct answer. And I may be tempted to share what the correct answer to this question is with some friend in the class that I'm trying to impress, etc. So you know what? I'm going to go back to these quiz settings. I'm going to go to this response, delete it in case I want to do it again. But now I'm going to go back to the questions, and I'm going to go up here to settings where it says quizzes. I'm going to change a couple things. Maybe I don't want the grade to be released immediately after each submission. Maybe I want to manually review it. Maybe I want the respondents to see which questions they got wrong, how much they were worth, but not want them to see what the correct answer was. So I can do it immediately and have them not see the correct answer. I can do all sorts of things. Another thing I can do is add things. You can add You can import a question. I think that's from other Google Forms. I haven't really played with that much yet. You can add a title and description. That's another one of these boxes. You can add an image if you want. I do that. Sometimes I do PDFs and I screen grab the image of like an essay question for government, put that in there, and then put the questions below it. You can add video. You can add a section, so you can split this into sections 1 and 2, or calculator and no calculator if you're putting that up for homework in a math class. I'm just going to add another question, and I'm going to make this a paragraph. Actually, I'll make this a short answer question. And it is going to be, how does 2 plus 2 make you feel? I'm going to make that required. I'm going to make it worth 2 points. I can add a correct answer, but for short answers is a little dangerous. This could be good for like trivia question, like what was the last name of the first president of the United States? And you put in, if they tell the kids in advance, they have to type Washington. But otherwise, you know, that's not, usually you're just going to leave this blank and click done. It's required. And one nice option is if I want to duplicate these problems and just change the question, I can do that. So now the way this looks to the student is, what is 2 plus 2? 4. How does 2 plus 2 make you feel? Great. And I hit submit. I can view my score. So great is marked wrong here. Okay, great is marked wrong because I didn't put in a correct answer. Makes me feel bad. I think there's some other ways that you can muck with that, but I'm going to go back and get rid of that individual response for a minute and try this again. So I think I'm going to go back here and just not let them see their answer until I review it and plug in a score. So now, if the student takes the quiz, checks off 4, how does it make you feel? Great. Someday I will learn to type. Submit, your response has been recorded. Okay, so now I go back to the quiz. Oh, there's the response. I'm going to jump through the analytics, go to the individual. What is 2 plus 2? 4, great. The Google form graded the multiple choice, but now I'm going to add 2 points to this answer. And then if I save it, full credit, now it's correct. Or you know what, I'm just going to give them 1 point, and I'm going to add the individual feedback. This was kind of a short answer. And then when I release the feedback, they'll see this. This was a short answer. They got this correct. They'll see they got 1 out of 2 points, and they'll see my feedback for it. If I want to, see, once again, I'm going to delete this feedback. One interesting thing for some math questions that you can add, I'm going to add a question. I'm going to place my cursor over these little 6 dots to grab it and move it up here. And I'm going to say, show your work. Okay, and instead of short answer, I'm going to go down here to file upload, which lets respondents upload a picture, for example. So I'm going to wait for the question to load. It's being a little bit silly. Okay, accidentally hit the back browser button, which I warn my kids not to do. Okay, show your work. It's still showing this. Trying to connect. Sometimes hitting refresh helps. Okay. It said short answer text, but I wanted to make this file upload. Continue. Google's struggling with this. I will only allow them to upload a PDF or an image in this case. You can let them upload audio, video. Drawing, I'm not really sure what that looks like. It can be huge, and showing it's required. And I'm going to click on the answer key, and showing their work will be worth 5 points. Far more than just getting the right answer was. It's a common math trick. Okay, so what's this going to look like? This is now going to look like, to the student, a blank quiz. The correct answer is 4. Show your work. Add a file. Okay, got some choices here. Now, to upload the file, the picture has to be on their computer, not their phone. unless they're taking this quiz on their phone, which is always a possibility. But if they're not, they have to have a quick way to transfer the picture from their phone to their computer, especially if it's timed. This My Drive option synchronizes to the Google Drive of the person who is taking the test. So if I were, say, on my phone, and I can show you guys what this looks like a little bit. This is an app called Reflector that lets me put my phone onto my computer screen. So I'm now going to go to my, don't look at all my games and apps. I'm going to go to my Drive app, okay? And here where it says plus, I'm going to hit Upload, Photos, and did not mean to do photos actually. I'm going to hit plus, Upload, Use Camera. Okay, and I am now going to show my work real quick for 2 plus 2 equals 4. Okay, there it is. And take a picture of it. Sure, I'll use that photo. It's uploading it. It's now should be in my Google Drive here. So let's stop showing my phone on the screen. And now I did not name it, so let's see. Do I have to go back? I have to admit, it's the first time I've done that one, even though I've made students do it, so go me. The file should be sitting here in Drive. Maybe since I wasn't there originally, I have to go get it. So sitting in my Drive is, oh, there it is. Okay, so they should upload before they click on the Add File. So I'm going to upload it. Okay, how does 2 plus 2 make me feel? Somnambulant will be my new answer, which apparently I'll misspell. Oh, there you go. And submit. It's taken a minute. Response has been recorded, but I didn't get my grade. I don't have an option to view my score yet because the teacher wants to look at my work first. So now I go back here. I look at responses. I'm going to ignore these analytics and go to individual. Okay, so multiple choice, Google graded for me was correct. Somnambulant, good word, giving myself 2 points for that. And my feedback is good word. Never quite managed to capitalize when I type too quickly. And then for the show the work, I look at this image, and there it is. 2 plus 2 equals 4. Might have to talk to students in the future about aligning their phone so that it appears upright instead of not rotated at a 90-degree angle. But that's enough to give them credit. So I'm going to go back to my blank quiz responses, and I'm going to give them, this student, all 5 points for showing their work, and save it. And I can be recording this by hand in a grade book, or I can go back and look at these responses later. I can also release the score. So I'm now getting an email saying that I got 2 points, 5 points, and 2 points for a total of 9 points on a 9-point quiz. So that's just some things you can do with Google Form. It's a little bit more confusing than the portal, but it's much more versatile. And again, my favorite thing about it for this particular situation we find ourselves in is when I go here to send, I can email or I just copy this link and I post it on the portal. And then students can click on it whatever they want during the day, if it's homework or even if it's a practice AP test I've given them. And I just feel like I'm still working out the kinks. I'm not as confident with this as I am with the portal that I've been using for 5 years, but it's pretty good. I'm able to read essays conveniently off any device, and I can see written work that's been uploaded. And also the AP exams this year will probably be something like this. So if you're teaching AP students of any sort, having them, like the AP Calculus exam this year will actually have a point where students have to take pictures of handwritten work and upload it. I don't know if the process will look like this, but I'm trying to prepare them for that as many ways as I can find out between now and the test in a couple weeks. So this is very powerful, very versatile. It's got asynchronous advantages, and that's about it. I could go on for a while longer, but I've probably lost most of your attention already, so I'll let you guys go. Hope this helps, and I'll see you guys at tomorrow's faculty meeting, and hopefully sometime soon again in person when it's safe. Thanks, everybody.